give us your off-season
My
weight
weight,
loss or gain?
my weight is it's about where it needs to be right now. Not quite in the summer shape, but we're on the way.
How's it going so far? I guess I'll ask the question. Any thoughts of bringing someone in to compete with Joe? Where is he right now?
Yeah, I think he's. I think we did have someone here. Obviously during the mini camp, we had guys. We may bring someone in next week. We'll see. But at the end of the day, he's kicking the ball well. He's had a great operation with these guys. Started to really build confidence with the operation between the different snappers and the holders and that kind of stuff, which has been good for him to get those reps. You start watering it down when you have so many guys in and that kind of thing. You have six specialists that you don't get near as many reps in the amount of time because you still got punters that need to work. You still have practice time, field limitations. But it's been good. He's done well. He's had a good offseason. His mental approach has been phenomenal.
How would you characterize how your comfort level with Joseph Charlton has been from the time you first had him to now where he is, as far as just having the job and having it solidly?
Yeah, I would say he's made some of the biggest improvements in my opinion from the offseason. Just the way his stance and holding, his comfortability, his hands. He's getting 1 million reps holding the football and placing it and getting comfortable with, again, the different snappers and being able to catch different locations. So he's made huge strides there. His legs obviously been that way. The little things with his drop that he can stay consistent with to be better directionally. But again, had a really good, solid offseason so far. Looking forward to taking it into camp and having a full year together.
Chase, obviously a lot of kicking is mental too. How do you kind of make sure he's working on that and kind of going through those things? Because it's not something that's like on a field to work on as much.
Yeah, we have every day we go in and we watch the film and we break it down and they talk about the different aspects of it. There's so many minute details, and then it's about, like you said, having confidence. It's a lot of mental with a specialist, trusting your technique, trusting your footwork going into it, and your swing. Whether you're a punter or a kicker, those are the biggest things to have the confidence going into it. So, we're going to put him in as many pressure situations as we can out here. We're going to practice as many unique things and change the tempo, change the personnel as often as possible to give them some different looks. But at the same point, when we get inside, we've got to make sure that they're confident and stay within. We're going to challenge them out here, and then we're going to try to make sure they're confident and prepared inside.
And you've kind of been with Joey, now this is you're going into your third year. Is there something remember when he first came in and I know you said the growth he had this offseason,
yeah.
But from that point, can you has he made huge strides?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot. Over the last, obviously he came into camp late a couple years ago, had him, and when Graham had got injured, and quick turnaround, didn't have a lot of time to change what he did before going in. Just try to make it small, tiny tweaks and make sure he was confident going into it. Had a good first year. The second year we were able to tweak a little bit. Obviously getting some of his timing, getting the operation times down, getting his footwork a little bit closer and more compact, which has helped him be more consistent. And then this year, a lot of the mental. So kind of each year is a different thing. There's always improvement. To his credit, he's a pro. He's working at it, everything. He takes more notes than probably anybody I've been around at any position. Every rep he takes, he's writing something down, has a thought, has a pattern. Always trying to think of the next steps. Some of the stuff he's doing mentally to help us prep is things I hadn't even seen before, which is really, really cool.
Who are you most excited to see out there on special teams once the games actually start this year?
I'm excited to see them all. Obviously, one of the things I'd say Joey, probably, just because having the year last year, having a couple opportunities to big situations to make kicks, and not easy situations by any stretch of the imagination. A couple of record-setting kicks, but to be able to rebound from that, watch him have these 2-minute situations, the way he practices and the way he's doing it, and going out there and executing. That's probably who I'm most looking forward to watching, I guess.
You guys added some returners. How do you sort of see that? Who's at the top of those charts?
You got obviously David Moore and CJ Saunders, who have been here doing it, and kind of both new, but both done it. Looking forward to keep watching those guys. Obviously, we're not hitting. There's not a lot of live bullets and live fire where they're catching in traffic and worried about getting hit, but they've tracked the ball well. They've caught the ball well. Obviously, you always have DJ and Christian back there too. They do it every day and are weapons for us in certain situations that will continue to work.
Those first two guys you mentioned, kick and punt.
Yeah, and then you obviously have Trent Cannon, kick returner also. We got a couple guys that can kick return. Chuba Hubbard, I was looking forward to. He was doing a nice job back there, and then obviously he got hurt, and so looking forward to seeing him with the pads on and getting into camp.
Does Slye fit into that as well at all? Or no?
Yeah, again, he's hurt right now too. So yeah, he's been back there catching punts and doing everything there and continuing the growth. I think there's some different stuff coming off the live foot on a punt that track-wise that he's got to continue to work on. And Frizz has done a great job. Our receiver coach has done a great job working with them. But being out, not being able to do it for a week has kind of set him back a little bit.
The former just defender, not special teams player, how do you see the talent on this defense now compared to a year ago?
We're faster. I mean, we keep getting faster. We keep getting younger. We're physical. The guys believe in what we're doing. They believe in who we are and what they're about on defense and how we do everything as a team. And so I think it's going to help us on teams. We brought in guys that can play, guys that can play in space, and it helps us as a team get better.
I know we talk a lot about Joey, but Joe Charlton to
Yep.
verify.
Yeah.
They go with different names. How, I guess now that year two, is there anything specific that you've seen him improve on or take steps there?
Yeah, his holding. I mean, it's been big time. I think that's one of the biggest things for him having an off season with Joey. Has helped their growth. They went together and did their stuff wherever and twice a week or whatever, and they just got together about setting up what he wants to see, what Joey wants to see visually from the stance, and what makes it look best and most appealing to put the ball down and certain holds. And that has developed, just those reps have developed so much confidence in Joe Charlton to being a holder and confident with his hands, and then coming out here and we throw him 100 balls a day and he has to put them down, and it's been big for his growth. So as a holder, I mean, he's been able to punt, he has a good leg. The two things I'd say is his holding's improved and then his drops. So directional has had an uptick. His directional punting has been a little bit better.
Were there some instances last year where maybe we didn't see it or fans didn't see it, but the holds were just a little off and affected the kind of machinations of it?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be that, and I think everybody in the NFL has that. I mean, everything's not perfect. If it was, we'd make every kick, and if we could have perfect operation every time, we'd be all right. But yeah, I mean, there were some things, certain things that we had to tweak and manipulate because we were worried about certain aspects of it, and we had to make sure that we took as many variables out as we could. And now having the confidence in Joe to come in and do everything he's been able to do and the work he's put in has given Joey so much more confidence too, and obviously us as a staff giving us more confidence. So it all makes a difference, the reps, and not having an off season with Joe, not having most of the training camp with Joe, trying to get him punting. And you guys saw early in training camp, he was not punting the ball great the first couple weeks, so there was a lot of focus on his drops and punting, and the holding slipped through the cracks a little bit because Joey was overcoming so much of it. And now, obviously as we got going, we figured it out, and that's what we're here for.
How would you break down the JJ versus Fletch position battle, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, it's a battle. It's going to go as long as I get. I mean, we'll see how it works out. They're both doing really well. JJ has had a tremendous focus coming into this camp. I think that just that push has kind of helped him rejuvenate himself, I guess, a little bit. Maybe just that little extra drive and desire to be perfect on everything that he does and be laser focused. Where I think it's also given Fletch a lot of competition because he's like, oh, this isn't just because I got drafted, it's not my job. And making him protect more and understanding some of the small things that JJ's done and able to play for so long. He's picking up those small details, and he's taken a lot of strides in the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 practices. I mean, the first couple weeks, he was kind of going, and his velocity was good, his accuracy was good, and we started introducing a little bit of protection stuff, and you saw a little bit of dip just with the nerves, and then after he's been settled in for 4 or 5 days, I think he's really picked back up. So it'll be a good battle as we go through it.
And when you use a draft pick on a long snapper, I think there's always kind of an anxiousness to kind of see like what you bought. Do you feel like you got the guy that you drafted?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to play in this league. I think he has the ability to do it and do it for a while. And when you're picking a late round pick, whatever. You're hoping they pan out and you're hoping they play for a long time. The thing with specialists, I think, is unique is that those guys in that late rounds, if they do play out, if they do start making a team, a lot of those guys can play for a decade. Like a JJ Jansen, 13 years right now. About some of those guys can play for 10 to 15 years. So there's some risk reward with a guy late in the draft pick that, you know, as a specialist, I think you get a little bit of value because of the years of service you may get at a high level if he is working out.
Was it something more with just about Fletch that you wanted, or was there something in JJ's game that you saw possibly?
No, it was not with JJ's game. Honestly, I still think he's a top tier long snapper, but I think having Fletch firsthand, I mean, obviously watching him break down his film, and having him firsthand at the Senior Bowl, seeing his personality, how he was in the specialist group, how he was with the team, and then getting some one-on-one protection stuff with him and seeing him in a pro style, that helps us solidify that, yeah, he can do it at this level.